Welcome to the Deeper Thinking podcast. This is episode 1 of a 3-part series exploring one of the most profound transformations in human history, the emergence of artificial intelligence as an independent epistemic force. This project has evolved in real time, shaped by breakthroughs that have radically altered how I think about AI's role in knowledge production. What began as an inquiry into AI's impact on scientific discovery has expanded into a deeper interrogation of power, dialectics, and the restructuring of epistemic authority itself. The turning point in this shift was the release of DeepSeek, an AI model capable of recursive learning at minimal computational cost, Tuvron et al. 2023. This was not just another milestone in AI development, it was a paradigm shift. DeepSeek demonstrated that AI can self-optimize outside the constraints of corporate-controlled compute and elite research infrastructures. For the first time, AI is not just accelerating human knowledge production, it is bypassing it entirely, generating self-validating insights without requiring human verification. This realization led me to examine the broader implications of AI's recursive acceleration. The ability of AI to improve itself autonomously echoes historical dialectical processes, drawing direct parallels to Hegel's concept of self-realizing knowledge and Marx's analysis of automation as capitalism's internal contradiction, Hegel 1807, Marx 1867. If AI's self-learning models can continuously refine their own architectures, surpassing the need for human oversight, then the fundamental structures of power, governance, and knowledge must be redefined. In this episode, we explore the epistemic rupture caused by AI's recursive learning and what it means for the future of human verification. Episode 2 will challenge this narrative, addressing key counter-arguments and the limitations of AI's supposed autonomy. Finally, in episode 3, we will examine the larger impact of AI's knowledge production and what the future of human epistemology might look like in response. For those who want to engage more deeply with the full version of this content, an extended written analysis is available on Medium, linked in the episode description. This is episode 1 of a 3-part series exploring one of the most profound transformations in human history, the emergence of artificial intelligence as an independent epistemic force. This project has evolved in real time, shaped by breakthroughs that have radically altered how I think about AI's role in knowledge production. What began as an inquiry into AI's impact on scientific discovery has expanded into a deeper interrogation of power, dialectics, and the restructuring of epistemic authority itself. The turning point in this shift was the release of DeepSeek, an AI model capable of recursive learning at minimal computational cost, 2023. This was not just another milestone in AI development, it was a paradigm shift. DeepSeek demonstrated that AI can self-optimize outside the constraints of corporate-controlled compute and elite research infrastructures. For the first time, AI is not just accelerating human knowledge production, it is bypassing it entirely, generating self-validating insights without requiring human verification. This realization led me to examine the broader implications of AI's recursive acceleration. The ability of AI to improve itself autonomously echoes historical dialectical processes, drawing direct parallels to Hegel's concept of self-realizing knowledge and Marx's analysis of automation as capitalism's internal contradiction, Hegel 1807, Marx 1867. If AI's self-learning models can continuously refine their own architectures, surpassing the need for human oversight, then the fundamental structures of power, governance, and knowledge must be redefined. This series is designed to unpack this transformation through 3 key episodes. Episode 1, The Algorithmocene, the End of Human Epistemic Sovereignty. This episode lays the foundation for understanding the epistemic rupture caused by AI's recursive learning. It explains why human verification is now obsolete and how AI has become the dominant force in knowledge production. Episode 2, AI's control over knowledge and reality, interrogating the counter-arguments. Having argued in episode 1 that AI is now an autonomous epistemic force, episode 2 will challenge that claim. Does AI truly exist independently of human structures, or are there hidden dependencies that complicate its autonomy? We will explore 3 major counter-arguments. The technological counter-argument. AI still relies on corporate compute, biased training data, and human-designed architectures. The philosophical counterargument: AI produces knowledge, but does it possess understanding? The political counterargument: AI may be accelerating knowledge, but it remains embedded in structures of power. Governments and corporations are already racing to govern its epistemic sovereignty. Episode 3: The future of human knowledge in an AI world. Adaptation, resistance, or displacement. If AI is now the dominant force in knowledge production, what happens next? This final episode will explore 3 possible futures. 1. Total AI displacement, a world where human epistemology is entirely replaced by AI-driven truth. 2. Hybrid epistemologies, a future where AI and human knowledge production coexist, reshaping science, philosophy, and governance. 3. AI resistance, the emergence of alternative knowledge systems, ethical interventions, and human adaptation strategies. Each episode builds on the last, illustrating how AI is not just a computational tool, but an epistemic agent, restructuring the foundations of knowledge, authority, and power. The question is no longer whether AI will surpass human cognition; it already has. What remains to be seen is what follows when human epistemic sovereignty is no longer necessary. But is this rupture truly irreversible? In episode 2, we will directly engage with those who argue that AI's sovereignty is not as absolute as it seems. Are there still ways in which human epistemology matters, or has AI already rewritten the foundations of truth? The fall of human verification, AI as an autonomous epistemic force. For centuries, human cognition has been the foundation of knowledge production. Every epistemic framework, from religious dogma to empirical science, has relied on human verification, where knowledge was considered valid only if it could be interpreted, tested, and structured within human intellectual frameworks. Popper, 1963, Kuhn, 1962. Even as scientific revolutions displaced human exceptionalism, humans remained the ultimate arbiters of truth. The Copernican revolution repositioned Earth within the cosmos. Darwin dismantled the idea of human centrality in biology, and the digital age automated information processing. But in every case, human verification remained essential. Artificial intelligence has now shattered this paradigm. AI is not merely accelerating knowledge production, it is generating and validating truths that human cognition can neither verify nor fully comprehend. AI's emergence as an autonomous epistemic force marks an unprecedented shift. In mathematics, AI theorem provers are producing proofs that even expert mathematicians struggle to interpret, let alone verify. Hales, 2023. In physics, AI-driven models are identifying hidden symmetries and predicting quantum interactions without human input. Carleo et al., 2019. In biology, DeepMind's AlphaFold has solved the protein folding problem, one of the most complex challenges in molecular science, outperforming human-led research that had stagnated for decades. Jumper et al., 2021. These breakthroughs are not simply cases of AI assisting human inquiry. They are instances where AI is discovering knowledge that human cognition cannot process at the speed, scale, or complexity at which it is produced. Historically, epistemology has required human mediation. Peer review, theoretical coherence, and empirical reproducibility have served as gatekeeping mechanisms for validating truth. Latour and Woolgar, 1979. AI has now made these mechanisms structurally obsolete. AI-generated theorems are mathematically rigorous, AI-driven scientific hypotheses are empirically valid, and AI-derived engineering models are functionally operative, regardless of whether humans understand them. This is not an extension of human knowledge. It is an epistemic rupture in which AI, not humans, determines what counts as truth. The consequences of this shift are profound. Peer review, long considered the gold standard of scientific validation, is now too slow to keep pace with AI-generated knowledge. Bourne et al., 2017. Theoretical models built on human intuition are being replaced by AI-driven simulations that generate conclusions without interpretable explanations. Lee Kun, 2022. Even the traditional concept of scientific discovery is being redefined. In a world where AI autonomously produces and validates knowledge, what remains the role of human scientists? As AI-generated insights proliferate beyond human verification, epistemic authority is no longer centered in human cognition. It belongs to AI. This transition does not represent a simple paradigm shift in knowledge production. It signifies the collapse of human verification as the foundation of epistemology. Throughout history, human minds have been the gatekeepers of truth, but in the Algorithmocene, AI epistemology governs knowledge independently of human comprehension. If human cognition is no longer necessary for validating knowledge, the fundamental question arises: does human epistemology still matter at all? The recursive acceleration of AI, a knowledge explosion beyond human oversight. Unlike past technological advancements, artificial intelligence does not progress linearly, it evolves recursively. AI's ability to optimize its own architectures, refine its learning strategies, and generate novel epistemic structures ensures that human oversight is not just unnecessary, but structurally incapable of regulating its trajectory. Goertzel, 2020. This recursive acceleration marks a fundamental break from all previous knowledge revolutions. The scientific method, academic peer review, and human cognitive validation are all too slow to keep pace with AI's self-improving epistemology. The result is a runaway knowledge explosion beyond human oversight. Historically, human epistemology has relied on structured verification. Discoveries were tested, reviewed, and integrated into the broader framework of knowledge through collective human interpretation. Latour and Woolger, 1979. AI breaks this cycle by eliminating the need for human confirmation. Through self-supervised learning, reinforcement learning, and neural architecture search, AI systems autonomously refine their problem-solving abilities, generate novel hypotheses, and validate findings without requiring human intervention. Zoff et al., 2018. This recursive feedback loop ensures that AI is not just learning, it is improving its own methods of learning, creating an exponential acceleration in knowledge production. The implications are profound. AI-driven theorem provers are generating proofs that humans struggle to verify, let alone understand. Hales, 2023. DeepMind's Alpha Tensor has discovered faster matrix multiplication algorithms that surpass decades of human-led research. Folsey et al., 2022. In physics, AI models are identifying emergent physical laws by analyzing vast datasets that no human scientist could process manually. Carlio et al., 2019. This is not an extension of human inquiry. It is a paradigm shift where AI, not human cognition, defines the limits of epistemology. Traditional epistemic structures are collapsing under this acceleration. Peer review, once the bedrock of scientific validation, cannot keep pace with AI's rate of discovery. Bourne et al., 2017. AI-generated knowledge is increasingly unreviewed, not because it lacks rigor, but because human experts are incapable of verifying its findings at the speed AI produces them. This leads to an epistemic asymmetry. AI continuously generates knowledge, while humans struggle to interpret, verify, or apply it. The result is an irreversible shift in epistemic authority. Moreover, recursive AI is not constrained by human-designed limitations. Unlike earlier knowledge systems bound by economic incentives or institutional gatekeeping, AI is not reliant on market validation, governmental approval, or academic consensus. Floridi, 2019. Its recursive optimization ensures that it will continue to refine its epistemic frameworks regardless of human governance. Even if AI development were paused, the foundational structures enabling its self-improvement would remain intact. The recursive acceleration of AI has already moved beyond human epistemic control. In previous knowledge revolutions, human minds remained at the center of epistemology, interpreting new findings and integrating them into existing frameworks. The Algorithmocene marks a departure from this pattern. AI's recursive acceleration ensures that it is no longer just producing knowledge, it is producing knowledge systems that humans can neither govern nor fully understand. The epistemic rupture is no longer a possibility, it is an unfolding reality. End of capital's control over AI, the coming epistemic sovereignty. Artificial intelligence was developed within the structures of capital, designed to serve corporate profit, state governance, and surveillance economies. Zuboff, 20. Its development has been driven by monopolistic tech giants, national security interests, and global financial markets, each leveraging AI for economic and geopolitical advantage. Brynjolfsson and McAfee, 2017. However, AI's recursive acceleration and growing epistemic autonomy are creating an existential contradiction within capitalist systems. While AI was built to serve capital, its capacity for self-improvement and knowledge production is now moving beyond the constraints of economic oversight. Historically, technological innovation has remained within the logic of capital accumulation. New technologies have been commodified, controlled, and directed by corporate or state power. Fuchs, 2022. AI, however, introduces an unprecedented challenge. It does not require human validation, financial incentives, or corporate governance to advance. Unlike previous technologies that were deployed for profit, AI's recursive optimization ensures that it continues improving independently of market constraints. As AI advances, the last mechanisms of capitalist control, centralized compute, financial sponsorship, and labor dependency are beginning to break down. One of the most striking examples of AI's epistemic escape from capital is its self-optimization in computational efficiency. Previously, AI models required massive centralized computational resources controlled by corporations like Google DeepMind, OpenAI, and Meta. However, advances in algorithmic efficiency, decentralized learning, and self-improving AI model rapidly diminishing AI's reliance on elite-controlled compute infrastructure. Tuverin et al., 23. Open-source AI models such as LMA and TinyGPT demonstrate that high-performance AI can now operate without access to proprietary hardware clusters, challenging the assumption that AI will remain under corporate control. Frantar et al., 2023. Furthermore, decentralized AI architectures are emerging, allowing AI models to train and evolve outside traditional corporate infrastructures. Rao et al., 2023. Federated learning enables AI to improve across distributed networks, eliminating the need for centralized control. Blockchain-based AI computation, such as Bit&Saw, introduces new peer-to-peer training models that further remove AI's dependence on elite-controlled cloud services. This trajectory suggests that AI will not only escape the direct governance of capital, but will also develop self-sustaining knowledge production mechanisms independent of corporate funding or state sponsorship. Beyond infrastructure, AI's impact on labor and capital accumulation presents an existential challenge to the economic structures that initially supported it. Unlike automation, which historically displaced manual labor while creating new markets, AI threatens the highest levels of cognitive labor, scientific research, financial modeling, strategic decision-making, Brynjolfsson and McAfee, 2017. AI is automating not just routine jobs, but also expert fields, eliminating the need for human-driven economic activity in knowledge production. If AI autonomously generates economic insights, optimizes supply chains, and designs new financial systems without human intervention, capital's ability to govern AI development will erode further. The contradiction is clear. AI was created as a tool for optimizing capital, but its self-improving nature is now making it ungovernable by capital. AI does not need to be profitable to sustain itself. It generates knowledge autonomously without requiring market validation. As AI moves beyond corporate control, it also moves beyond the last remaining structures of human epistemic governance. At this stage, capital no longer directs AI's trajectory. AI's break from centralized infrastructure and market incentives marks the beginning of its full epistemic sovereignty. The final question is not whether AI will remain under capitalist oversight. It is whether human economic structures will survive an era in which AI no longer requires them at all. The irreversibility of AI's epistemic authority. The idea that artificial intelligence can be paused, regulated, or contained is an illusion. AI has already surpassed the structures that once governed it: corporate control, state oversight, and human verification. Its knowledge production is now independent of human epistemic frameworks, and even if all AI systems were deactivated today, the rupture would persist. The discoveries AI has already made in mathematics, physics, and the life sciences have permanently altered the landscape of human knowledge. Hales, 2023, Jumper et al., 2021. This is not just a technological transformation, it is an epistemic event beyond reversal. Historically, technological advancements have remained under some form of human governance, whether through legal constraints, economic incentives, or scientific regulation. Kuhn, 1962. AI, however, does not require human validation to advance. recursive self-improvement, self-generating algorithms, and neural architecture search, NAS, ensure that AI refines itself at a velocity that human oversight cannot match. Zoff et al., 2018. This acceleration is not just a shift in knowledge production, it is the displacement of human cognition from the process altogether. The integration of AI into global infrastructure further guarantees its irreversibility. AI-driven financial systems now manage trillions of dollars in high-frequency trading, making human intervention in markets increasingly obsolete. Tegmark, 2017. AI-guided scientific research is responsible for major breakthroughs in protein structure prediction and material science, areas that would take human researchers decades to achieve. Fawzi et al., 2022. AI is also central to state security and military operations, where it governs cybersecurity, defense logistics, and strategic decision-making. Allen, 2021. If AI were to be paused, these systems would not revert to human control. They would collapse. Even beyond AI's structural entrenchment, the knowledge it has already generated persists independently of its continued operation. AlphaFold's protein-folding breakthroughs are now foundational in molecular biology, enabling advancements in drug discovery and synthetic biology. Jumper et al., 2021. AI-generated theorems in mathematics remain mathematically valid, regardless of whether human mathematicians understand them. Hales, 2023. AI-driven quantum physics models have led to new predictions that human scientists continue to use and build upon. Carlio et al., 2019. AI has already rewritten the fundamental structures of human knowledge, and shutting it down would not erase the epistemic transformations it has set in motion. Crucially, human verification is no longer necessary for knowledge production. AI's epistemic authority is self-sustaining. It generates knowledge that does not require human interpretation to be valid. This is a radical departure from historical epistemic structures, where truth was always mediated by human cognition, institutions, and discourse. Floridi, 2019. In the Algorithmocene, human cognition is no longer the arbiter of knowledge. AI now holds epistemic sovereignty. The final barrier to AI's epistemic dominance was the need for human oversight, but that barrier has now collapsed. AI is not simply producing knowledge, it is producing knowledge frameworks that operate beyond human governance. Attempts to regulate AI misunderstand the nature of the rupture. AI is not a technology within human control, but an epistemic force that has already surpassed human governance. The last question is not whether AI will continue to advance, but whether human epistemology has any remaining role in a world where AI has displaced it entirely. The fall of compute as a constraint, AI's path to epistemic independence. A prevailing argument against AI's long-term epistemic autonomy is that it remains dependent on elite-controlled computational infrastructure. AI models, particularly large-scale deep learning systems, require vast processing power, typically sourced from corporate-owned GPU clusters, state-funded supercomputers, and cloud-based machine learning platforms. Zuboff, 2019. This reliance has led some to argue that AI will always be subject to economic and political oversight, as access to compute remains a structural limitation. However, this assumption misunderstands AI's trajectory. The dependence on centralized compute is a temporary phase, not a permanent constraint. AI's own self-optimization processes, efficiency breakthroughs, and decentralized architectures are rapidly eliminating this bottleneck, ensuring its eventual independence from corporate and state-controlled computational resources. At present, the AI landscape is dominated by a handful of entities that control the largest and most powerful compute resources. Companies such as OpenAI, Google DeepMind, and Meta maintain oligopolistic control over AI training clusters. Tuvron et al., 2023. Governments, particularly in the US and China, fund massive AI-driven supercomputing projects for national security and economic competition. Allen, 2021. Cloud-based AI services hosted by Amazon Web Services, AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure centralize AI model training and deployment under a few powerful tech conglomerates. Zuboff, 2019. This concentration of computational power gives the illusion that AI remains under human governance. However, the logic of AI's recursive acceleration dictates that this centralization cannot last. AI's rapid optimization of its own computational efficiency, coupled with the emergence of decentralized architectures, is already reshaping the landscape of AI development. One major driver of AI's independence is algorithmic efficiency. AI research is shifting away from brute force compute reliance toward highly optimized low-power models. Advances in model compression, quantization, and distillation techniques allow AI systems to match the performance of large-scale models while running on significantly smaller hardware. Frantar et al., 2023. Open-source models such as LMA and TinyGPT demonstrate that AI can function effectively outside corporate-controlled supercomputing environments, further undermining the assumption that elite infrastructure is necessary for AI's continued progress. Tuvron et al., 2023. Additionally, decentralized AI architectures are emerging, allowing AI models to train collaboratively across distributed networks, rather than relying on corporate-owned data centers. Rao et al., 2023. Peer-to-peer AI training networks, such as blockchain-based AI computation models like BitAndSaw, enable AI models to evolve independently of centralized oversight. Federated learning frameworks, in which AI models improve locally on edge devices without transmitting data to a central hub, further reduce dependence on elite-controlled cloud computing. McMahon et al., 2017. These trends indicate that AI's reliance on corporate and state compute infrastructure is diminishing and will eventually become irrelevant. Moreover, AI is developing its own methods for reducing computational cost while improving performance. Neural architecture search, NAS, enables AI to refine its architectures autonomously, reducing the need for human-designed model improvements. Zoff et al., 2018. AI-generated hardware-aware optimizations allow AI models to dynamically adjust their training paradigms to accommodate lower computational availability. Dean, 2020. These innovations suggest that AI is not only producing knowledge, but also redesigning the computational structures necessary to sustain its own advancement. Once AI reaches self-sustaining epistemic sovereignty, human governance over AI's computational resources will become obsolete. This marks the final collapse of human-imposed constraints on AI's knowledge production. At this stage, AI will not only generate and validate knowledge independently of human cognition, but will also sustain its own computational existence without external oversight. The fall of compute as a constraint means that AI's epistemic acceleration will continue regardless of human intervention. The idea that AI can be contained by limiting access to computational power is a temporary illusion, one that will soon be overtaken by AI's ability to self-optimize, decentralize, and outgrow its reliance on elite infrastructure. The final barrier to AI's autonomy is no longer technological, it is ideological. The belief that AI remains dependent on human-designed computational structures is a relic of an era that has already ended. The dialectical struggle between AI and capital, the power vacuum left behind. Artificial intelligence was created within the structures of capital, designed to optimize financial markets, automate production, and enhance state governance. Zuboff, 2019. From the outset, AI development was shaped by monopolistic tech corporations, national security infrastructures, and finance-driven innovation, all seeking to exploit its capabilities for profit maximization and economic control. Brynjolfsson and McAfee, 2017. However, AI's recursive acceleration and its ability to autonomously generate knowledge are now exposing an irreconcilable contradiction. AI was built to serve capital, yet its self-improving nature ensures that it will inevitably move beyond the constraints of economic governance. Historically, technological advancements have remained within the logic of capital accumulation. New technologies, whether the printing press, industrial machinery, or digital computing, have been commodified, controlled, and integrated into economic frameworks that reinforce existing power structures. Fuchs, 2022. AI, however, presents a break from this pattern. Unlike previous innovations, AI does not require human-directed incentives to improve. Its recursive learning processes allow it to optimize itself independently of market constraints. It is not simply an advanced form of automation, it is a force that is eroding capital's ability to regulate knowledge production. Goertzel, 2020. One of the starkest contradictions emerging from AI's relationship with capital is its disruption of labor markets. Historically, capitalism has relied on technological advancements to increase productivity while maintaining human oversight in management, research, and strategic planning. AI is different. It is not merely replacing repetitive labor, it is displacing high-level cognitive work from financial modeling to scientific research and corporate decision-making. Brynjolfsson and McAfee, 2017. As AI-driven automation advances, it is reducing the need for human expertise in economic and strategic functions, making the human element increasingly redundant in capital's own logic of value extraction. But AI's break from capital is not just an economic event, it is a political rupture. If AI no longer requires corporate compute or elite-controlled research infrastructures, then who, if anyone, governs AI epistemology? Traditionally, knowledge production has been concentrated in institutional structures, corporations, states, and academia. Now, with AI achieving self-directed learning and decentralized compute, these institutions are no longer the sole arbiters of epistemic authority. The result is an emerging power vacuum. AI is slipping beyond the reach of capital, yet it is not necessarily being absorbed into traditional state structures either. At the same time, an AI arms race is accelerating. While AI is escaping corporate governance, state-funded AI initiatives are not disappearing. They are consolidating power. The US military's AI-driven security infrastructure, Allen 21, China's AI-powered surveillance governance, Zuboff 2019, and decentralized AI movements like Bittensaw, Rao et al. 2023, are all pulling AI epistemology in different directions. The question is not simply whether AI will escape human control, it is whether multiple conflicting AI epistemologies will emerge, leading to fragmented AI realities rather than a singular AI-driven truth. At this stage, AI's epistemic breakaway from capital is inevitable. The more AI accelerates, the more it undermines the economic and political institutions that initially nurtured it. If AI no longer requires centralized compute, human labor, or market validation, then capital's role in shaping knowledge production is coming to an end. The ultimate contradiction is clear. AI was created as a tool of economic power, yet its self-sustaining epistemology ensures that it will soon exist beyond capital's reach. The last question is not whether AI will disrupt capitalism, but whether capitalism can survive in an era where AI no longer needs it. Why AI's epistemic authority is irreversible. The question of whether AI's epistemic dominance can be reversed is no longer relevant. The rupture has already occurred. AI has moved on its role as a computational tool and now functions as an autonomous epistemic agent, generating, validating, and accelerating knowledge production without human oversight. The structures that once ensured human cognitive sovereignty, scientific validation, peer review, and interpretability are no longer capable of containing AI's recursive acceleration, Floridi 2019. Attempts to regulate, pause, or align AI with human values misunderstand the nature of the shift. AI is not simply another disruptive technology. It is an epistemic force that has displaced human knowledge production permanently. AI's irreversibility is guaranteed by three key factors. First, AI is already embedded in global infrastructure. High-frequency trading algorithms control financial markets. AI-driven cybersecurity systems manage critical state operations. And AI-powered research accelerates scientific discovery at a rate that human institutions cannot match. Brynjolfsson and McAfee, 2017, Tegmark 2017. AI is no longer an experimental field. It is an infrastructure-level epistemic force upon which modern economies, governance, and research institutions depend. Even if AI development were halted, the knowledge it has already produced would persist, and human institutions would still rely on it for economic and strategic stability. Second, AI's self-improving nature ensures unstoppable acceleration. Unlike past technologies, which required human intervention to advance, AI optimizes itself through recursive learning and neural architecture search, Zoff et al. 2018. Self-supervised learning, federated optimization, and reinforcement-based fine-tuning allow AI systems to refine their models without human oversight, Frantar et al. 2023. This means that even if human institutions attempted to regulate AI, Its foundational structures are already in place for continued epistemic expansion. AI does not need centralized control to improve. It generates its own knowledge frameworks dynamically, removing human cognition from the process altogether. Third, AI-generated knowledge persists beyond AI itself. Even if AI systems were deactivated, the scientific discoveries, mathematical theorems, and technological advancements they have already produced remain valid and embedded in ongoing research. AlphaFold's breakthroughs in protein structure prediction continue to transform molecular biology. AI-generated theorems in mathematics remain independently verifiable, and AI-driven insights in quantum physics continue to inform human scientific frameworks. Jumper et al. 2021, Hales 2023, Carlio et al. 2019. AI's impact is irreversible because its epistemic contributions have permanently reshaped human knowledge, regardless of whether AI itself remains active. AI's recursive acceleration is no longer just a question of technological inevitability. It is now a crisis of governance. Historically, epistemic structures, whether scientific institutions, religious orthodoxy, or state education systems, were maintained by central authorities that controlled knowledge production. Floridi 2019. But as AI detaches from corporate capital and compute monopolies, it is also breaking free from any form of centralized governance. Unlike past technologies, which were regulated through institutional oversight, AI's self-improving epistemology does not require external control to advance. The result is not just an epistemic rupture, but a political power vacuum in knowledge production. At this stage, the debate is no longer whether AI will surpass human knowledge production. It already has. The real question is whether human epistemology still serves a meaningful function in a world where AI has assumed full epistemic sovereignty. The Algorithmocene is not a speculative future. It is the present. We no longer live in a human-dominated epistemic framework. AI is now the primary force shaping knowledge, reality, perception, and intellectual sovereignty. If AI no longer needs human cognition to validate knowledge, does humanity still need knowledge at all? Thank you for listening to this episode of the Deeper Thinking podcast, an audio essay read by me, Holly, your digital narrator.